One of the most hotly anticipated cars for 2022 is undoubtedly the Jeep Meridian. We have our first glimpse at the car that's just broken cover, so something for you to feast your eyes on the show this week. I am Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar, welcome to C&B. But the review is still under embargo, so all you can do is take a look at it. I can't tell you anything more about it, but that's how it works these days, isn't it? Instead, let's talk about another new car that's just driven in. It is the facelifted version of the XL6 from Maruti Suzuki. That's the car that retails out of the Nexa platform. Let's find out what's changed, what's new, and what's better.
Disruption is always good for competition, and that's exactly what Kia did with the Carens and even Renault with the Triber in the MPV segment. The move has prompted the segment leader to go back to the drawing board and rethink its strategy. After having been in the market for 3 years and having sold 1 lakh units, the XL6 had to undergo a change, and that's where the facelift comes in. Now, not a lot has changed in terms of design. The dimensions remain the same, but new elements on the front grille like this X-bar shaped chrome that you see just connects both the DRLs. Now, this was always a part of the XL6. The earlier version too had it, but in this one it looks a bit more prominent, and that's great. There's a bit of added muscle as well, so it looks muscular. The tires are 16 inches now, so it sits well, and the roof rails add a new dimension because now it just shows an increase in height. Beyond all of that, you have the rear as well. Now the rear is also similar to what you had earlier, but these tail lamps with the smoky elements on it add a new dimension. And though we think that it looks close to a Volvo, it stands out. So does the floating roof and a lot other elements that it has. Now these might look like small changes, but the bigger changes are on the inside, and my colleague Pratik will take you through them all.
Well, most definitely, Amay. The cabin has more prominent changes than the exterior, and the first thing that you get is the upmarket feel that Maruti has given to the XL6 with this stone finish on the dashboard with chrome inserts. Certainly livens things up on the inside. You also get this new 7-inch touchscreen infotainment, but there are two things that has irked us honestly, and the first part is the fact that Maruti has a larger 9-inch system as well at their disposal, and we've even seen that system on the new Baleno. So we couldn't think of any other reason why Maruti wouldn't want to offer that with this flagship Nexa product. The other problem that we have with the infotainment system is that the base variant doesn't get it. It's only offered with the Alpha and the Alpha Plus. The base variant in fact gets the Smart Play Studio, which is offered with the Wagoner and the Espresso. I mean, considering this is the upmarket and the more premium product, we feel that the 9-inch Smart Pro Studio should have been a standard feature. Apart from this, you also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. However, there is no wireless charging, nor is there wireless feature for the connectivity. Speaking of connectivity, we also get Suzuki Connect with 40 plus features, but we will get to that part as well. But before that, we do want to talk about one more feature that we get is the ventilated seats, but that is only restricted for the front row passengers. What Maruti could have done is offered a segment first feature for the second row as well. I mean, ventilated seats for the second row could have been a major boost for the company. What do you think, Amaya?
Couldn't agree with you more, but it's not necessary to have them either. You get a decent amount of room here. It's just as spacious as it was before, so you get decent knee room, good enough shoulder room, and good headroom too. And this large glass area actually brings in a sense of airiness to the cabin. You also get roof mounted air conditioning vents, which bring in a sense of relief here. But the absence of a sunroof will be a deal breaker for some. But there's one more row behind me, And as you can see that Pratik is not quite comfortable and is asking for more space. Another thing that you will have to compromise on is USB slots, as you get only a single 12-volt port. But there are no air vents here for the occupants, and yes, you will be left uncomfortable if the season is summer. A last aspect about the space is that with all 3 rows up, you only get 209 liters of storage space. But that can be expanded to 550 liters with the 3rd row folded, and if you further fold the 2nd row as well, then you get a total of 692 liters of boot space, which is ample in our opinion. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. Perhaps the biggest change in the XL6 is that 1.5 litre engine is a new K15C engine with dual jet. Now this basically means that there are 2 injectors per cylinder, which basically means that there's greater control over fuel injection and therefore good on fuel efficiency as well. So yes, this car with a 6-speed automatic gearbox punches out more than 20 kilometers per litre. That's good, right? And even on highways like this where you're just cruising down, it actually feels alright. It does not feel underpowered. It's only when you start overtaking that's when you feel the need for power. It is the most underpowered car in its entire segment because it just pushes out 102 brake horsepower and 138 Newton meters of torque. Now in the Kia Carens has more power to offer. Given all of that, let's get to the gearbox in that case, because this is the new 6-speed automatic torque converter that we see on the car, and it is pretty good, not straight off the bat, but at least when you're cruising down, it is pretty alright. But you feel the lag of power when you want to overtake. However, there are paddle shifters given here, and they're pretty good when it comes to reaction time, and that's great for this car because then you can overtake and always have power at your disposal. That's a good thing. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about is the refinement of that engine. Well, you know what, if I put it in drive mode and just push the throttle, there's that strong engine noise that you feel, and it doesn't go away till it reaches 6000 RPM. So you know what, we wished and it would have been a little more refined, and especially NVH levels in the car would have been in check.
Now things are completely opposite when you drive the manual version. It is engaging, it is fun to drive, it is peppy, and the throttle response is absolutely on point. Like, we love the fact that it can rev to the 4000 RPM band as well, and it is quite comfortable, in fact, at the 2500 RPM band as well, and that's where it is absolutely at home. Apart from that, the gearbox is slick, the shifts are smooth and comfortable, the clutch is also light, that's exactly what you expect from a Maruti car, and they've done a brilliant job in that as well. Apart from that, the cabin noise is bare minimum. The only thing that we can hear is the engine noise, which is smooth. and we really love that fact. Also, the bigger tires have helped in adding to that as well, and your ride is absolutely comfortable. Even on highways, you feel absolutely at home, but the only fact is that between your fifth gear, if you're at a higher speed, and there is a slightly lag that is not enjoyable, but once you downshift and pull it up to the 3000 rpm mark, then things are getting better. And once you cross that and then shift to the higher gear, then things smoothen out.
Now on the ride and handling front, there's a lot to say because it feels a little bit different than the XL6 before. And that is because there's a lot of work done on the suspension, and of course the tires have been upgraded. They're 16-inch tires. So you know what? It just makes up for a nice a nice package, so to say. Even the bumps on the road that we faced are taken in its stride. Even some of the the roads that we took, some patchy roads that we took where work was going on, it did pretty well, and it does not disturb the occupants inside the cabin. And that's that's the need of the hour, because at any point in time this car will seat 6 people. It is a family car and you don't want your family to be disturbed. So yes, a great job done on the ride and handling, and definitely, you know what, it feels better now. There's more than what meets the eye in the XL6, because going with the trend, Maruti has included its Suzuki Connect connected car tech as well, and comes with more than 40 features, and we are even familiar with most of them from the refreshed Baleno. Nevertheless, turning the ignition on, switching the air conditioning, checking on fuel levels and more such features can be now accessed via your smartphone. However, these features are limited to the automatic version only, which is a big miss again. It also gets Amazon Alexa connectivity. However, we could not try it pretty well because of connectivity issues. Now you might think we'll come to the verdict, but no. There's one more department that we would like to talk about, and that's safety. Now, on the safety front, there is ABS with EBD and brake assist as standard, as are the ISOFIX child anchorages on the second row, and of course seatbelt pretensioners as well. But the addition of 4 airbags as standard and ESP with hill hold assist, well, these are baby steps from Maruti Suzuki to ensuring that this car is safer. Maruti Suzuki has also ensured that this car also gets 360-degree camera as also tire pressure monitoring system. But both these are only available in the Alpha and Alpha Plus respectively. Having said all of that, we still think more could be done, because the addition of 6 airbags could certainly have made the life of the occupants more safer, but that has not been done. So we wait for Maruti Suzuki to maybe ensure that is done soon. However, the first question that all of you will ask now in our comment section is, what is his global NCAP crash test rating? Well, frankly, we don't know, because this has not been crash tested. But when it does, you know Car and Bike will be there and will be the first one to tell you exactly what went down. Maruti Suzuki launched the refresh XL6 at a starting price of 11,29,000 rupees. While these are stellar prices when compared to the Hyundai Alcazar, Toyota Innova Crista and even the Mahindra Marazzo, the obvious comparison you will make is with the newly launched Kia Carens. And this is where we feel Maruti faces a challenge, because the XL6 is almost a lakh expensive than the entry-level Carens. But do factor in 2 things, that the Carens comes with both petrol and diesel as well as manual and automatic gearbox, whereas this, the XL6, comes only with a single petrol unit. Not having a diesel version with the XL6, especially in this highly competitive segment, is, according to us, a lost opportunity for the segment leader. A new engine, a new gearbox, enhanced features, connected car tech, and even improved ride and handling makes the XL6 a worthy purchase. So yes, you can put your money on this car.
The Meridian has its own styling, and especially at the back is where it really shows up as being different and its own car. Now you can see how nice and dusty it is. That's a little hint for you that our review is not just going to be on tarmac. That's right, I got it off-road as well. So something exciting to look forward to on that review next week. In the meanwhile, promise me you'll wear your seatbelts and helmets. And remember, next week we've got this and a little bit something extra for you. Until then, please take care.